Test, test, test. Thanks a lot.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to congregants, to friends, to guests, to everyone joining us here in person and everyone joining us on the live stream. It is so wonderful to gather to celebrate Shabbat. We welcome our congregational president, Hank Bernstein, to the Bima, as well as tonight we are honored to have Rabbi Emeritus Bill Kuhn with us as well. Let's ensure that we are praying together as one community tonight. Please take a moment to introduce yourselves in the chat. And if you're here in person, find someone new to greet and wish them a Shabbat Shalom.
Yes. Not right. Really? Get a missing page too? Really? play through it? Did we play through this one? We played it, right?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to continue with our Shabbat blessings. We're honored to have Ned Hanover to lead us in our Shabbat blessings, beginning with candle lighting on page 2. Yeah, go for it, Ned.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And on page 5, we continue with the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam porei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'masei v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikraei kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim.
L'chaim. Thank you, Ned. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and Aaron Gobra. How's my Irish? That was all right.
Your brawl is
So do Jews celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Officially, no. Though St. Patrick's Day in the U.S. has evolved into more of a celebration of Irish culture than religion, the fact that the holiday is named for a Catholic saint means it's probably not for us. However, there's one thing that many Jews and Irish Jews, there are quite a few of them, that we all seek out on St. Patrick's Day. Well, corned beef. You knew. At least those of us that eat meat. Yeah. In her book, Hungering for America, NYU historian Hasia Diner talks about how Ashkenazi Jews and Irish immigrants came to America around the same time and shared many customs, including finding ways to take cheaper cuts of meat and make them delicious. Corned beef, and I'm sorry for all the vegans and vegetarians, but corned beef, I believe, has a powerful message to teach us this Shabbat. I'm serious. It's a message that we use what we have. We take the not so perfect that we have in our lives and we do the best we have with it. We aren't always given the ribeye or the filet. Sometimes all we have to work with is a tough piece of meat. But with the right attitude, the right amount of salt and spices and time, we come out with something really delicious. And so we take a deep breath and release, turning from the stresses, from the imperfection of the week to the beauty of Shabbat, and as we strive for that perfection, we continue singing our Kabbalat Shabbat songs, beginning on page 331 with Shir Hamalot.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Umevorah. Shabbat Shalom Umevorach Shir Hamalot B'shuv Adonai Et Shivat Zion Hayinu Kechomin Az Yemale Tzchokinu Ulshoneinu Rina Az Yomru V'Hagoyim Higdil Adonai La'asoti Melech Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
With the joy of a wedding, we continue with Lecha Dodi, pages 20 and 21, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. שמור וזכור, בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המוכר. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם תפארת ולתחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם לסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי נקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי נקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise.
בואי בשלום עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי נקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי נקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי נקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי נקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Continue on page 28 with our call to worship, Baruch Hu.
Laila, 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 laila. Laila, 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 laila. Laila, 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 ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Our tradition teaches that the giving of Torah was one of God's greatest gifts of love to the Jewish people. And therefore, we have an obligation to study, to teach, and to care for our sacred scripture. Tonight at our Shabbat dinner, we'll learn more about our Torah Restoration Project, our commitment to ensuring that our sacred scrolls will be around for generations to come. As we continue with the singing of Ahavat Olam on page 32, we meditate on God's love for us through Torah.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ואהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו למדת. When we lie down and we rise up, this joy will last forever. When we lie down and when we rise up, this joy will last forever, forever. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. Page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת.
Page 39, the top of the page, we read together. Standing on the parted shores we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, לא רציתי לו עושה מלך, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, כמוך נדע קודש נורא תהי לו עושה מלך מי כמוך באלים אדוני מלכותך ראו בניך היה לפני משה ומרים זה אלי ענו ואמרו זה אלי ענו ואמרו אדוני לו לעולם ועד אדוני לו לעולם ועד כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך באלים אדוני
Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Page 42.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. We continue with the tefillah on pages 46 and following. Please rise.
Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach Adonai שפתיי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך ופי יגיד תהילתך אדוני שפתיי תפתח אדוני שפתיי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך ופי יגיד תהילתך אדוני שפתיי תפתח אדוני שפתיי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך ופי יגיד תהילתך ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו בשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ותפקידו מלך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We join together in our blessing for peace on the top of page 61. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, v'varech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. We take moments now for silent prayer.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל. ואמרו אמן.
In her upcoming visual novel, This Terrible True Thing, congregant and author Jenny Layden draws on her own experience to create the story of grief and transcendence. It's the story of a teenager dealing with family illness and her search for silver linings while trying to balance paralyzing fear, grief, her social life, and schoolwork. For any author to take such pain and tragedy and use it to help others find healing is not always easy, but can have a profound effect in our world. If you are holding someone in your heart tonight in need of healing, mind, body, or spirit, I invite you to write their names in the comments online or to speak their names aloud at this time. Continue with our prayer for healing on page 4 of your service program, and I'll just draw your attention to the last line, which we'll sing differently from what is written there with a more updated gender-expansive language.
רפאנו אדוני ונרפא, הושיענו וניוושע, אל קרוב לכל קורב, אך קרוב נרעיו אישו. We pray for healing of the body. We pray for healing of the soul, for strength of flesh and mind and spirit. We pray to once again be whole. Elna refana. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, refuat shlema. Elna refana. הושיע את עמך, וברך את נחלתך, ורעים ונשאים עד העולם. מי שברך אבותינו, מי שברך אמותינו, אנא אדוני הושיענה. We pray for healing of all people. We pray for healing of the land and peace for every race and nation, everyone who needs a helping hand. Ena refana. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, refuat shlema. Ena refana. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, refuat shlema. Heal us now. Heal us now. Heal us now.
I was speaking earlier with our Torah Restoration Project co-chairs, John Broder and Ellen Simon, about how in such a complicated world and such a complicated week with pain and loss, it's so joyful to have something like Torah Restoration that is just pure goodness that we can focus on. And I think sometimes in our most difficult or complex times, all the more so, it's important for us to find those things for which we are grateful, those things worthy of blessing. And so as we prepare for the Shehechianu, our blessing of gratitude on page 344, let's think together, perhaps consider the past week or the past day when there's something in your life, something of a simcha or sacred occasion or something that makes you particularly grateful. And if you wish, please call it out now. I see some poking. Some people just poke the people next to them. But I won't call on you unless you're raising your own hand. Susanna. Awesome. All right. We're relieved that there's been some resolution at Temple for all of our folks who have been affected, and terrific that you'll be with the Feinstein Center for American Jewish History. Wonderful work and a good partner of Rosh Shalom. Others. Ranan. Anaya, summer job. Wow. Growing up. Nice. Mazel tov. Linda? I'm very excited about Connectors on Sunday. Me too. Connectors is this Sunday. Excellent. So we can all be prepared to either come help call or be at home and make a call. Either way. Yes. Wonderful. Stacy, was that your hand? Wonderful. B'sha'at tova to Jack and Rob. B'sha'at tova is what we say, in good time. May it be a good time. May everything happen in a good time. Wonderful. And we save the mazel tov for the birth. So we have lots of good things to say at every stage that we can mark in Jewish life. Lynn? It is something for which we are grateful for all of our congregational leaders working on creating a trip to Israel for Rodef Shalom that will really reflect the relationships that we've created with a congregation there and the values and teachings that we've been embracing. And thank you for that work. It is something for a blessing. I think excited is a good word. I'll take that. Yes. Anything that we're missing? Do you see a Joseph? Where's Josephine? Yes, Josephine. Is that? Wonderful. You had your first parent-teacher conference that you as a student got to lead. That is really special. Thank you for sharing that, Josephine. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. And growth mindset. I know you're TPS teachers. Growth mindset. May you grow in learning. Nora, is that your hand too? We have our spots are a little strong today. We have a little some extra love of light. Is that your hand I see? Yes. Yes, go ahead, Nora. You can call it out. Did you catch that?
She had a babysitter over.
Oh, you had a babysitter. That sounds
Yeah.
like a blessing for your parents. Oh, that's how you know. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it was Cantor Hyman's daughter, Hannah. That's so wonderful. What a wonderful Rodef Shalom family we get to all be a part of. All right, for all of those connections and this joy of joining together for this Shabbat, we join together for the Shehechianu on page 344.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh
It is really a joy to welcome one of our Rabbi Emeriti, Rabbi Kuhn, to offer our Devar Torah this evening. And I think it's especially fitting that he offers it this evening when we are so focused, especially focused on Torah restoration, because you may or may not know, it was Rabbi Kuhn who first started our Rodef Shalom Torah study, our weekly Shabbat Torah study that is now such a cornerstone of Rodef Shalom learning and living. And of course, he's also famous for teaching us that every Torah portion is his favorite, as many of you know. So, welcome to Rabbi Kuhn.
I'm glad you remembered that this is my favorite Torah portion. And thank you again for inviting me to speak tonight. Oh, thank you. And unfortunately, Rabbi Friedman, you took all my material when I was going to talk about corned beef tonight. So I guess I'll have to make up something else to talk about. But really, I can't tell you how proud I am of you, Rabbi Maderer, all the time, and so grateful for this congregation choosing you to be my successor, because we were such great working partners together, and I just look on from afar now, admiring and in awe of all that you've accomplished, and that you and your team, Rabbi Friedman and Cantor Hyman, I believe have now undertaken one of the greatest efforts that this congregation has embarked upon in the efforts to restore our Torah scrolls. During my rabbinate here, we put a lot of effort into restoring and renovating our building and making sure that the dome wouldn't fall on everyone's head. Literally, that was a concern, believe it or not. But we were successful in establishing a warm and welcoming place to ensure our vision of becoming the center of Jewish life in Philadelphia. But there was always something more important that I thought needed to be done to restore our precious Torah scrolls. And I'm so glad that you've embarked on this project. They had become damaged and neglected over the years, and by undertaking this project, your clergy and all of you who are supporting this project are sending a very important message that Torah is truly at the center of who we are as a congregation, and that we are treating these scrolls with the utmost respect. And that teaches us all that we should take the words of Torah to be the very center of our lives. Now, I'm sure you've noticed the architecture in this room, this magnificent sanctuary, and I'd like to ask if you could just quickly tell me, what is the focal point of this room? Okay, that's kind of obvious. The ark, and notice the setting of the ark. There's this amazing cupola or chuppah over the ark, and more about that in a few minutes. To me, it also could be a throne, which tells us that the sovereign of Judaism is the Torah, the laws and stories and ethics, the meaning of our lives. Torah is our sovereign, our guiding light, the tree of life. Now, this architecture didn't just happen by chance or from some clever idea of a good architect back in 1927 when this building was built. No, it was an idea that goes way back, thousands of years ago, from the great happens to be described in this week's Torah portion, my favorite. This Torah portion, Vayachel, at the end of the book of Exodus, gives a very detailed instruction on how to build the tabernacle, the Mishkan, the portable prayer space that would become the prototype for all future temples and synagogues, including this one. It is the physical space where our people would pray to God and connect with God. And the emphasis is on the gathering of the people together. Moses gives the instructions to Kol Adat B'nai Yisrael, the entire community of Israel. The word Adat means community or group, but the mystics found an interesting meaning for the word Adah, meaning vertebra, or one of the bony segments of the backbone. Why? Because we need all of the bones, all of them together, in order to stand and function. Every bone and sinew and fiber and cell and organ need to work together for a person to be whole and to function properly. So the metaphor here has a meaning that each individual is essential to the ability of the congregation to function properly, to stand for something important and meaningful. We each need to work together and contribute what we can. No vertebra can be a slacker. Every bone and cell contributes But just like the human body, the parts start to wear out in time and get tired and need to be renewed and refreshed. This is why we need to come together in this mishkan that we build in sacred spaces like this in order to turn our hearts to God and to all that is most holy in life. In this Torah portion, the instructions for the building of the tabernacle are given in exquisite detail. The tent material, the poles, the lampstand, the altar, and of course the Ark of the Covenant. There are measurements given that are meant to be followed to the letter. My dear friend and colleague Rabbi David Stern pointed out that our sages found a very interesting meaning in these measurements. Almost all of them are given in whole numbers or of cubits. Cubits is a measurement. The curtains must be 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. The altar must be 5 cubits long. The poles 5 cubits long. All of these measurements are in whole numbers of cubits. But the holy ark, which would hold the Torah, would be the holiest spot in the Mishkan. Those measurements are given in half cubits, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, 1.5 cubits high. The Hasidic sages called these half-cubit instructions to be amot shavurot, broken measures. Why? To teach that we are always only half. We're never totally whole. We're never fully complete. Our souls are never complete. Our learning is never complete. Our ethical standards require constant vigilance. Our spiritual practice is always a work in progress. But together, in the company of a congregation of seekers like this, we can become more whole. If each of us is made of half measures, together we can feel more whole. By connecting with each other, especially here in prayer, in community, where we share our lives with each other, we can find wholeness. As the great 20th century Jewish philosopher Martin Buber said, God is found in the relationships we build with each other. Together, we draw closer to God. The name of our Torah portion is Vayachel, from the Hebrew root letters Kuf He Lamed, meaning kahal. The word has multiple meanings. Kahal is a gathering or a convocation, but there's a deeper meaning in our context. It means a community which is drawn together for a sacred purpose, a kahila kedusha, a sacred congregation. Actually, the official name of our congregation is Kahila Kedusha Rodev Shalom. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory says that when a kahila is orchestrated together for a collective undertaking, we become involved in making a distinctive contribution. The beauty of a kahila is when we are driven by a constructive purpose, we gather together the distinct and separate contributions of many individuals, so that each of us can say, I helped make this. This is why Moses recognized that each person has their own skill and something different to give. He said, take from among you gifts to Adonai, everyone whose heart so moves them. Moses was able to turn the kahila with all its diversity into a group with singleness of purpose. Together they built the house of God, and today we do it still. One of the most powerful scenes of all the Torah is found at the very end of the book of Exodus. These closing verses describe the end of the project of the building of the Mishkan. The Torah says, when Moses had finished the work, the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the presence of Adonai filled the tabernacle. The words in Hebrew for when Moses finished the work are Vayachal Moshe et hamlacha. The word the Torah uses for finished is Vayachal. But that's a very strange use of the word Vayachal. There are many other more common words that could have been used for the word finish. So why did the Torah say Vayachal? The sages taught that it was because the word referred to the word Kala, bride. This scene is describing a wedding. The wedding between God and the people of Israel, us, the Jewish people. The chuppah, the Jewish wedding canopy, is the Mishkan, the tabernacle. The ketubah, the wedding contract, is the Torah. Adonai and Israel become married to each other, spouses committed to each other. But as with any marriage, especially one that's lasted 3,000 years, ours has had its ups and downs. Promises and infidelities, intimacy and hostility. It is a marriage that requires a reconsecration service in every generation, choosing each other again and again. A good marriage involves intentionally building a story together that can be sustaining and can become the foundation and the meaning of our lives. So what is our story? The sanctuary is our chuppah. That cupola up there is a chuppah. It really is. And the Torah in the ark is our ketubah, our wedding contract. The congregation is the place where we fulfill our obligation to God and to ourselves to build a better world. The purpose of our congregation is to help us connect with each other, to connect with the soul of Judaism, and to connect with God. This is where we engage with each other as we form a partnership with each other with shared responsibility and mutual respect. And just as in a marriage, we build a position of trust and intimacy with each other so that we can turn to each other for strength to fulfill our shared responsibilities. The symbolism of restoring our Torah scrolls is that this congregation is making a profound statement that Torah is at the center of our lives, inspiring this community to become a sacred congregation. Kahila, Kedusha, Rodef Shalom. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Kuhn, for your beautiful words of Torah. We continue in our prayer books with Aleinu, page 282 and then 287. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This week, our congregation observes Yahrzeit for Margaret K. Abrams, Rosalind Adelson, Jenny S. Adler, Bella Alexander, Justin P. Allman, Charles K. Bacharach, Reba Cates Bachman, Zelda Askins Berman, Joseph Binnenstock, Elizabeth Sophia Binswanger, Robert Binswanger, Frank Bowman, Myrna Brind, Abraham J. Brown, Judith Clark, Benjamin Cohen, Hannah M. Cohen, Betty Dumoff, Doris Elias, Abraham L. Friedman, Simon L. Garfinkel, Charles David Gersten, Clara Cohen Glaubman, Edgar L. Gold, Harry N. Goldberg, Louis Goldberg, Solomon G. Golden, Lillian M. Goldman, Fanny Goldsmith, Albert G. Gorson, Herman Greenberg, Harry G. Greenberg, Lillian Y. Gritz, Harry J. Guberman, Jacqueline Hanover, Max Heller, Benjamin Herron, Walter Herzberg, Leopold Hirsch, Lee Jubilier, William Kirschenbaum, Leonard Kleeman, Bessie S. Cohn, Natalie Pincus Krieger, Bernard Krieger, Samuel Phillips Levin, Francis Lewis, Max Libson, Simon Loeb, Sidney Lowenstein, Mira Meyer, Roger W. Muchnick Jr., Sarah Levinson Nissenson, Jennifer Pincus, Emily K. Price, Alexander D. Reinheimer, Marie G. Robinson, I. Bud Rockhour, Rabbi Milton Rosenbaum, Cecilia Hart Rosenthal, Moses Rosenzweig, Harry N. Brzezinski, Sarah Rubin, David R. Sablowski, Erwin C. Saft, Ethel Salkowitz, Sidney Lewis Shiro, Elsie Schwimmer, Albert Segan, Betty Seidman, Charles Seldner, Albert Sharp, Fanny Silberman, Edith Silo, Stephen David Silverman, Norma Silverman, Ami Squires, Sylvia Stein, Tessie Lang Sterling, Nanette F. Stern, Lena Sternberger, Fred Strauss, Sidney Strober, Michael Thornton, Beatrice G. Toll, Daniel Traum, Bernice Hirschman-Tuman, Maureen Grace Tweston, Rose Weissglass, Robert Weiss, Peggy L. Woolman. And we add the names of those who have been taken from our midst, but not from recent days, for whom we are observing Shiloshim, the 30 days of mourning. Irit Apteker, Alan Blesnick, Alexandra Wolf Fogel, Ivor Martin Hughes, Lawrence Cagle, Rosalind Kessler, Sam Robinson, Norman Woljan. If you are observing Yahrzeit or Shiloshim for a loved one whose name was not mentioned, I invite you to write their names in the comments or speak their names aloud at this time. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be a blessing. We turn to page 294 and rise for the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah. Bi'alma divrach yerotev yamlich malchutei. V'chaye chon uv'yomei chon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei rabbah v'rach le'alam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal. Shmei dekudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace and comfort to us all, and let us say, amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'imeru. Amen.
Once again, Shabbat Shalom. Rabbi Kuhn, thank you for just the perfect words to take us into this dinner focusing on Torah restoration. If you are attending dinner, please join us and check in with Nave Barlow at the door of the community room. If you did not already register, we do have some spots left. And if tonight doesn't work for you, look in our program for information about next month, and we have other opportunities to celebrate and learn more and find ways to be engaged in this project. This Sunday is Connectors. I have always found it to be one of the very many things that makes this congregation special, that we do our best to make sure every congregant is called just for that feeling of connection at some point during the year. And so, if you would like to volunteer to help make calls, Linda, can folks come to you and volunteer? Is that a good idea? All right, I'm volunteering Linda because she usually volunteers herself. And thank you, Linda, for your leadership in this wonderful effort. And if you're not able to make calls, you can receive them, and that's a good thing too. All right, if it is your first time here, please be sure to say hello to Jordan Marks, who's waving at the back of the sanctuary. Jordan, thank you, so that you can learn more about the congregation. Eitz Chaim Hi. It is a tree of life, source of wisdom. May we know that our Torah is a tree of life from which all things have the potential to grow. May we grow from Torah and with Torah, and may we hold fast to it.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha
May God bless us and keep us.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka
May the light of God's Spirit shine upon us and through us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasev lecha shalom.
May God's presence be with us and bring us peace. Keni Hiratzon, may this be God's will. Shabbat Shalom.